When most people think of Alabama, they picture quiet farmland and Southern history, not the massive rocket engines that launched American astronauts all the way to the moon. Yet within this single southeastern state, ancient Appalachian ridgelines slope down into subtropical coastal waters, while peaceful rural crossroads sit just miles from world-class aerospace laboratories. To truly understand Alabama's state history and culture, you have to look beyond simple stereotypes and uncover a story defined by powerful geographic contrasts, profound struggles for human freedom, and groundbreaking technological triumphs that helped shape the modern world. Over the next several minutes, we will journey across the entire state, exploring how a land once defined by cotton fields and river navigation transformed into an economic powerhouse of automotive assembly lines, legendary music recording studios, and deep space engineering. To understand how Alabama became the state it is today, we first need to explore the ground beneath our feet. Alabama covers roughly 52,400 square miles, ranking near the middle of American states in total land area. Yet its physical terrain is astonishingly varied. At its northern edge, Alabama reaches into the southern spine of the Appalachian Mountains. Here you will find rolling plateaus, hidden limestone cavern networks, dense hardwood forests, and deep river gorges. As you move southward, the terrain shifts into the fertile agricultural heartland, known as the Black Belt, named for its dark, nutrient-rich soil that shaped early American farming. Continuing further south, the rolling hills flatten entirely into the expansive Gulf coastal plain. Here the landscape transforms into pine flatwoods, cypress swamps, and winding coastal wetlands. Alabama is blessed with one of the most extensive inland waterway networks in North America. The mighty Tennessee River loops through the northern valley, while the Alabama, Tombigbee, and Mobile rivers carve channels down toward the sea, creating vital transportation corridors that supported trade for hundreds of years. Finally, at the southern tip of the state, Alabama meets the warm waters of the Gulf of America. This short but stunning stretch of shoreline features the sugar-white quartz sands of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, along with the vast, ecologically rich estuary of Mobile Bay. But these natural landscapes did not remain wild forever. Human settlement soon organized them into a collection of distinctly unique urban centers. Alabama's major cities each tell a completely different chapter of the state's unfolding narrative. In the north-central region lies Birmingham, the state's most populous metropolitan area. Founded after the Civil War at the crossing of major railroad lines, Birmingham earned the nickname the Magic City because it seemed to appear overnight. It became a booming industrial capital due to a rare geologic occurrence. All three raw ingredients required to produce iron and steel, iron ore, coal, and limestone, were found in massive quantities within the immediate surrounding valley. While heavy industry built the city's early fortunes, modern Birmingham has reinvented itself into a vibrant center for advanced healthcare research, higher education, regional banking, and modern culinary arts. Travel south down the interstate, and you reach Montgomery, the state capital perched along the Alabama River. Montgomery is a city steeped in monumental political history. It served briefly as the initial capital of the Confederacy in 1861, and nearly a century later, it became the undisputed birthplace of the modern American civil rights movement. Today, government offices, historic preservation sites, and military aviation support anchor the local economy. In the northern reaches of the Tennessee River Valley sits Huntsville, known internationally as the Rocket City. Once a modest farming community, Huntsville transformed during the mid-20th century into a world-renowned technology hub, home to major aerospace research facilities, military defense commands, and thousands of highly specialized engineers. Down on the coast, Mobile serves as Alabama's historic gateway to the world. Founded by French colonists in 1702, Mobile predates New Orleans and boasts a centuries-old maritime heritage, complete with historic architecture, a bustling commercial deepwater seaport, and vibrant cultural traditions. Further inland, Tuscaloosa thrives along the Black Warrior River as a vital educational and industrial anchor, driven by the sprawling campus of the University of Alabama. Each of these urban centers reflects the layered human experiences that have populated the region across centuries. Long before European explorers sighted the Gulf coastline, diverse indigenous civilizations flourished throughout the river basins and mountain forests of Alabama. For thousands of years, native peoples developed complex mound-building cultures, established extensive trade routes, and built agricultural communities along the fertile river bottoms. By the time of European contact, the region was home to several powerful native nations, including the Muskogee Creek, Cherokee, Choctaw, and Chickasaw. The very name Alabama derives from the historic Alabama tribe, an indigenous Muskegean-speaking people whose homeland lay along the upper reaches of the river that still bears their name. During the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, European empires, including the Spanish, French, and British, competed fiercely for control over regional trade and valuable territory. Following the American Revolution and the rapid expansion of the United States, the federal government organized the Alabama Territory, and on December 14, 1819, Alabama was officially admitted as the 22nd state in the Union. Statehood coincided with the dramatic rise of the cotton economy across the American South. The introduction of the cotton gin, combined with the region's long growing season and rich soil, sparked rapid agricultural expansion. However, this vast economic wealth was generated through the brutal institution of chattel slavery. Tens of thousands of enslaved African Americans were forced to clear dense timber, plant fields, and harvest cotton under horrific conditions, creating profound social and economic divisions that would define the state for generations. In early 1861, as sectional tensions over slavery and states' rights reached a breaking point, Alabama seceded from the United States and joined the Confederate States of America. Montgomery briefly served as the first Confederate capital, where Jefferson Davis took the oath of office. The Civil War brought immense devastation to the state's infrastructure, economy, and civilian population. Following Confederate defeat, the abolition of slavery through the 13th Amendment, and the turbulent era of Reconstruction, white political leaders re-established control and enacted sweeping Jim Crow laws, enforcing strict racial segregation and disenfranchising black citizens for decades. Yet it was precisely this oppressive environment that forged some of the most courageous freedom fighters in human history, placing Alabama at the very core of Alabama state history and culture during the mid-20th century. In December 1955, in downtown Montgomery, a black seamstress named Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated city bus, sparking the historic Montgomery bus boycott. The coordinated community protests lasted for over a year and propelled a young local minister, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., onto the national stage as a primary leader of the civil rights movement. In 1963, Birmingham became the focal point of the struggle as civil rights organizers launched direct action campaigns against segregation. The world watched in horror as peaceful demonstrators, including young students, faced police dogs and high-pressure fire hoses, and the nation mourned when a bomb exploded at the 16th Street Baptist Church, killing 4 young girls. 2 years later, in 1965, voting rights activists gathered in Selma to march 54 miles to the state capitol in Montgomery. As marchers crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, they were brutally assaulted by law enforcement on a day remembered as Bloody Sunday. The televised images of that unprovoked violence shocked the moral conscience of the country and directly accelerated the passage of the landmark Voting Rights Act of 1965. Today, these historic sites stand not as quiet relics of the past, but as living testaments to the ordinary citizens who risked everything to demand equal justice under the law. While Alabama was grappling with its profound civil rights challenges, another revolution was taking place in the northern corner of the state that would propel humanity into the cosmos. After World War II, the United States Army transferred a team of elite rocket scientists to Huntsville to develop guided missiles. When the space race began, the facility was transferred to the newly formed National Aeronautics and Space Administration, becoming the Marshall Space Flight Center. Under the leadership of aerospace pioneers, Huntsville engineers designed and tested the colossal Saturn V rocket, the towering launch vehicle that generated millions of pounds of thrust and propelled the Apollo missions to the surface of the moon. Huntsville earned its title as the Rocket City, not merely as a nickname, but as a genuine global center of high-tech innovation. Today, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center showcases that incredible legacy, while the surrounding research park continues to develop propulsion systems for future deep space exploration and advanced national defense applications. This spirit of engineering precision also helped transform Alabama's broader industrial economy. Over the past few decades, Alabama has grown into one of the top automobile-producing states in the United States. Major global automotive manufacturers, including Mercedes-Benz, Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, and Mazda, have built massive assembly and engine plants across the state. These facilities have created tens of thousands of skilled jobs in manufacturing, robotics, and logistics. Beyond automobiles and rockets, Alabama's modern economy is strengthened by commercial aviation manufacturing in Mobile, extensive timber and poultry production throughout rural counties, advanced biotechnology research in Birmingham, and maritime shipping through the Port of Mobile, which connects Alabama goods directly to international shipping lanes. After a long day working in the factory, the research laboratory, or the classroom, there is one place where every Alabamian finds common ground: around the dinner table. Alabama cuisine is a rich, flavorful expression of deep Southern culinary heritage, shaped by native agricultural crops, West African cooking methods, and European traditions. At the center of Alabama food culture is barbecue. While slow-smoked pork shoulder and tender ribs are celebrated across every county, Northern Alabama is famous for an entirely unique creation known as white barbecue sauce. Invented in Decatur during the 1920s, this tangy concoction blends mayonnaise, vinegar, black pepper, and spices into a distinctive dressing poured generously over hot, slow-smoked chicken straight off the pit. Across the state, traditional Meat and Three diners serve up hearty plates of crispy fried catfish, country fried steak, slow-simmered collard greens seasoned with pork, black-eyed peas, fried green tomatoes, and golden skillets of warm cornbread. Wash it all down with a tall glass of ice-cold sweet tea, and finish the meal with a warm slice of homemade pecan pie or classic banana pudding. Head south toward the coastal waterways, and the menu shifts toward the abundant harvest of the sea. Gulf Shores and Mobile Bay supply restaurants with fresh brown and white shrimp, blue crab claws fried to a crisp, and rich seafood gumbo seasoned with local herbs. Food in Alabama is far more than mere nourishment. It is an act of hospitality, a preservation of family recipes, and an enduring social ritual that brings communities together. That same soul and authentic expression is found in the remarkable musical heritage that Alabama has shared with the entire world. In the northwest corner of the state, along the banks of the Tennessee River, sits the small community of Muscle Shoals. During the 1960s and 1970s, local recording studios like Fame Studios and Muscle Shoals Sound Studio developed an earthy, unmistakable rhythm and blues groove, known globally as the Muscle Shoals sound. Iconic artists ranging from Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett to the Rolling Stones, Paul Simon, and Lynyrd Skynyrd traveled to this quiet Alabama town to capture that magical, soulful sound on vinyl. Beyond Muscle Shoals, Alabama has contributed profoundly to traditional country, gospel, and the blues. The legendary country pioneer Hank Williams grew up in South Alabama, crafting timeless songs that defined the genre, while black gospel choirs across the state have influenced sacred and secular music for over a century. Alongside music, there is another cultural tradition that commands absolute devotion across Alabama: college football. In a state without a major professional sports franchise, college football is not simply a hobby, it is practically a way of life. Every autumn, normal life pauses on Saturdays as hundreds of thousands of fans fill stadiums, host elaborate tailgates, and gather with family to watch the games. The intense year-round rivalry between the University of Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn University Tigers culminates each November in the legendary Iron Bowl, a fiercely contested matchup where state bragging rights, family loyalty, and championship dreams hang on every single snap. When Alabamians want to step away from the roaring stadiums and bustling city centers, the state's natural environment provides endless opportunities for outdoor exploration and quiet escape. In the northeastern highlands, Little River Canyon National Preserve features one of the deepest river-carved canyons east of the Mississippi River, surrounded by dramatic sandstone bluffs, rushing rapids, and stunning waterfalls like DeSoto Falls. Nearby, Cheaha State Park encompasses Mount Cheaha, the highest point in Alabama at 2,407 feet above sea level, offering sweeping panoramic views across thousands of acres of the Talladega National Forest. Hikers can trek along hundreds of miles of scenic trails, while anglers cast lines into world-class freshwater reservoirs like Lake Guntersville, famous for trophy largemouth bass. Paddlers can navigate the scenic Bartram Canoe Trail through the vast mobile Tensaw River Delta, often referred to as America's Amazon due to its breathtaking aquatic biodiversity. And along the open coastline, pristine public beaches and calm coastal bays invite visitors to enjoy sailing, deep-sea fishing, and birdwatching, along critical migratory flyways. From the cool mountain overlooks of the north to the warm salt spray of the south, Alabama's natural beauty rewards anyone willing to explore its scenic backroads. As we look back across the state, it becomes clear that Alabama cannot be defined by any single viewpoint or simplified narrative. It is America's 22nd state, a place where ancient indigenous settlements, turbulent wartime conflicts, and world-changing civil rights milestones converge. It is a land of incredible geographical diversity, spanning from the southern foothills of the Appalachians to the white sand coastlines of the Gulf of America. It is a powerhouse of automotive assembly, agricultural tradition, and lunar aerospace engineering, all wrapped in a rich cultural tapestry of world-class music, legendary football rivalries, and unforgettable Southern hospitality. Alabama's complex story reflects the broader American experience itself, deeply rooted in historical struggle, richly diverse in character, and constantly striving toward a brighter future. Our journey across the United States has only just begun. For our next episode, we are leaving the warm, sunlit waters and rolling green forests of the American South behind, and traveling thousands of miles to the far northwest corner of the continent. There, we will step into a vast, untamed landscape larger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. A majestic frontier defined by towering subarctic peaks, colossal tidal glaciers, massive grizzly bears, and the dancing lights of the Aurora Borealis. Join us next time as we discover the rugged wilderness and incredible spirit of America's largest state, Alaska.